For a few years, I dabbled in the aquaculture realm. My end goal? To successfully breed a threatened or endangered species and reduce the demand from the aquarium trade on the wild populations. Here's how it all started. A friend of mine was working for an aquarium maintenance company back in 2012, and one of their clients needed to break down their aquarium since they were moving and also getting out of the hobby. There were 2 adult seahorses, which you see here, and a baby seahorse, which was hanging out on the bottom of the aquarium while I filmed this. The adults were checking out my hand while I was cleaning the tank one day. They were super cool. Right after that, a very large local aquarium store went out of business and they were selling everything. I bought 4 of the tanks and set up 2 underneath the stairs of the townhouse that I had at the time. This was the very first seahorse breeding system set up for what would later become AP Aquaculture. This is Joe. He's an old friend from college, and he's also an engineer that owns a contracting company. He came over to help me set everything up. He's also an entrepreneur, an ideas guy, and shares my passion for marine life. He wanted to be part of what I was doing. And so, we became business partners, as we had a few times in the past, since we tend to work well together. He rented a very large Penske truck. We bought something like 25 of all of the aquariums that this aquarium store that was going out of business was selling. His cousin owns a bunch of warehouse space, so he rented one of the units out, and we started our facility. We really had very little idea of what we were doing, but our intentions were very good. We enlisted the help of a few friends that worked in the aquarium industry at the time and gave it our best effort. After a few months, we successfully bred our first baby seahorse. He survived, and we raised him up until he became an adult. From there, this started to happen about every 2 weeks. We learned as we went, but we had an 80% success rate on average for raising these little ones, so we learned really quickly. In between selling the seahorses, we sold our live food, and that pretty much sustained the cost of the facility for about a year or so. However, there was still a lot of investment that went into every month, both time and money. We hired a few people to help us, but it was a lot of work. I lost my full-time job in April of 2015, which made things a bit more complicated for me. In addition to that, I got sick, and things at the facility started to require more attention. In the end, we decided to close it down due to cost, among other things. Our breeding pairs of seahorses all went to a breeder in Palm Beach so that they could continue the good work that we were doing. The clownfish went to new homes of hobbyists who wanted them, and one of the sharks went to my uncle's house, which years later was relocated to the Key West Aquarium with another shark that he had rescued. El Guapo came home with me, and the other 2 rescued sharks went to a veterinary high school program for students to learn from and take care of. So in the end, I accomplished what I set out to do, and now I have shared exactly how we cultured our live food in an online course, which you can pick up on my website. I'll leave a link in this video's description. If you're looking into aquaculture of any kind, this course will save you a lot of time, money, and significantly reduce the number of fatalities as you learn how to raise fry or baby fish. If anyone who is watching this is thinking about getting into aquaculture, here's what I learned. Start at home and bring in consistent money from your efforts before you expand. This is a bit tricky since you need to be licensed in order to sell to the stores. So do some research before you start, as the laws in each state are different, and you need to know how to properly dispose of biological matter that results from aquaculture, as doing this incorrectly can cause a major local environmental issue. Specialize in one species and then expand from there. Do a ton of research before you even start. Read every book that you can get your hands on and formulate a plan. A lot of the information out there is old, but it still works. So it's important to learn from the past and present practices. Price everything out and then double it. That's how much money you will most likely really need. Know that this is not a quick process. It takes months and months to get everything just right. Make sure that you have enough finances to support this without any profit for at least a year or 2. And that's the aquaculture facility story. There will be more content coming up within the next few weeks about the live food, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss it.